So, the clown. The story of a walking billboard for why drugs are bad. When Kenneth was born, his mom died, and his dad was kind of a dick about the whole thing. He ignored his kid and pretty much let him do whatever the fuck he wanted because apparently he thought parenting was optional. So Kenneth did what any rational kid would do in this situation and kept going to school, finding feathers and sticking them in his mouth because that's sanitary. Eventually he decided he wanted to lick some fresh feathers and decided to catch a live bird. Now the quality of adults in this kid's life is astounding because he was able to get some anesthesia off the local dentist. It'd be one thing, but it's like this kid had a fucking punch card for this dental office because he just kept going back. So Kenneth caught the bird and he killed it, took a feather and went home to fap to the memory. He even started putting his trophies in the cigar box and hiding it like a prize nudie magazine collection because he didn't want his dad to find out. Anyway, Kenneth got a job, and while he pretended to be a contributing member of society, he worked his way up the food chain from birds and eventually started shanking bigger things and hiding his keepsakes in that cigar box, which really must have been bought at Costco because he was putting all kinds of shit in there. Obviously, Kenneth started targeting people, and in a single moment of sober, responsible living, his dad was cleaning out the crawl space and found the cigar box and was like, wow, maybe if I hadn't been a shitty parent, none of this would have ever happened. I'm kidding, he just walked out of the crawl space. Kenneth saw him and fucked off to go join the circus. Now Kenneth had grown up into a walking thirst trap, so when the circus picked him up, saw he was a brick wall of muscle, they renamed him Jeffrey Hawk and had him work the ropes. Man, for a second, it seemed like Kenneth was really cleaning up here as he was learning to socialize, people weren't treating him like steaming garbage, and he finally had a family. Just like the DARE program warned the 90s kids, drugs got involved and he started eating junk food and drinking and swelled up like a sweaty, wheezing balloon. Then he decided to get back to shanking people and started stealing people's shit to wear while he was out doing it. He must have bought his own Costco membership because he was right back to using anesthesia, and the dentist that didn't notice the shit vanishing out of his storage closet was a long ways away. So he tortured a bunch of people, took their fingers, and probably sucked on them like the feathers before storing them away and disposing of the people they came from. Eventually dude got sloppy, probably because he was still on drugs and hadn't known sobriety in like a year, and one girl got out. She tattled to the circus, who absolutely believed her because Kenneth was getting real gross and being an ass, so they went after him. Kenneth grabbed his BFF Maurice the horse, hitched up the circus caravan, and got the fuck out of there. Now you'd think Kenneth would have killed his horse like literally everyone else he came in contact with, but Maurice was cool. So they went traveling all over the place, and Kenneth would sneak into other circuses and carnivals to catch new people who looked at his wheezing, meth-addled man with a cloud of BO and beer breath hanging around him and thought he was legit. Long story short, the entity did everyone a favor and got this asshole off the streets and dropped him off at Crotus Prent Asylum, presumably to piss off the nurse. Maurice came too, and the entity felt real bad because that horse did not come out of the fog looking good. So the entity let him lay down and take a breather and gave him a third eye because he's a good boy. So yeah, the clown. Plain and simple.